Okay. Hopefully, let's just keep it that way. So we have a few folks on the call. I see.
Yeah, there was someone joined 5 minutes before. എൻ്റെ
Oh
മനസ്സിൽ
yeah.
ഇങ്ങനെ അത് ഫ്രണ്ട് ബെഞ്ചേഴ്സ് ആണോ നിങ്ങൾ എന്നൊക്കെ ചോദിക്കണം
Nalla
എന്നുണ്ടായിരുന്നു.
idea. Keep it up. Don't change it. It's considering to join late, you know. It's like,
Fashionably late അല്ലേ?
yes, yes.
But it's nice to see you. It's nice to see you have a nice monstera plant in the background and all.
Right? That's my second one. That's one plant that just grows without much care. Um,
Really?
I also
Mm.
have another one which is like the mom of this one. But like as you can see, like it needs a lot of support. And
Yeah,
this
I
is
can see
one
that.
time I was on a call and it just like fell down. I'm like, oh my God, it's like so dramatic.
Well, I probably should get a monstera because, well, I buy plants and I don't look after them.
Yeah.
So I went to IKEA one day and I got like 5 plants and I even named them.
Yeah.
uh, so I told my husband like, yeah, see this one Benjamin, ഒരു Benjamin look ഉണ്ട്. ഇതൊരു എന്താ Gayatri. I don't really remember names because it's five
Oh
years.
wow.
I have not looked at them after that.
പല cultural names ആണോ?
എല്ലാം ഒരു മലയാളി പേരുകളാണ് ഞാൻ ഉദ്ദേശിച്ചത്.
Okay,
ഒരു
okay, okay.
ഒരു
That much you
ക്രിസ്ത്യാനി
think, okay.
ആക്ച്വലി മതസൗഹാർദ്ദമായിരുന്നു എന്റെ മനസ്സിലെ ഉദ്ദേശം എന്ന് തോന്നുന്നു. ബിക്കോസ് വൺ വാസ്
Oh.
ബെഞ്ചമിൻ, വൺ വാസ് സുലൈമാൻ, വൺ വാസ് സോളമൻ. But I have not looked at them afterward. Like that's the only fun part was, yeah, I named them.
Yeah, I mean you gave some love. That's worth it.
Hmm. Anyway, kick off ചെയ്യാം.
Okay,
Like 5 minutes past time.
okay.
So like welcome everybody. So my name is Anjali. ഞാൻ Barton Hill 2012 batch ആയിരുന്നു. Sreelakshmi is also from the same batch. Um, and we both studied information technology. And today, like what are we doing here? A couple of weeks ago, when me and my husband, both of us studied in Barton Hill in the same batch, ഞങ്ങൾ കോളേജിൽ പോയിരുന്നു. കോളേജിൽ പോയപ്പം ഞങ്ങളുടെ സെയിം ടീച്ചർമാരൊക്കെ ഉണ്ടായിരുന്നു. ഞങ്ങളുടെ ടീച്ചർമാർ ഷംന മാം, മഞ്ജു മാം, ഹരിപ്രിയ മാം, ജോത്സ്ന മാം. So like same teachers ആയിരുന്നു and it's pretty nice. Like പോയപ്പോ like something that really struck me was that the teachers are really invested in the students and they said that we have really good students, just like all of you alumni, like our teachers were also like so like even remembered some of our alumni names and were asking uh, ഇയാൾ എവിടെയാണ്, അയാൾ എവിടെയാണ്, and all. um, and they were like ഇവിടെ നല്ല സ്റ്റുഡൻസ് ഒക്കെ ഉണ്ട്. And ഒരു serendipitously randomly മഞ്ജു മാം ഒരു ആദിത്യ എന്ന് പറഞ്ഞിട്ടൊരു ജൂനിയറിനെ കൊണ്ട് ഓൺ ദ സ്പോട്ട് ഒരു പ്രസന്റേഷൻ പറഞ്ഞു കൊടുക്കുക എന്തൊക്കെയാ ചെയ്തേക്കുന്നതെന്ന് പറഞ്ഞു. ആൻഡ് ഇറ്റ്സ് വെരി വെരി ഇംപ്രസീവ്. സോ ആൻഡ് അപ്പൊ ടീച്ചർമാർ ചോദിച്ചു ലൈക്ക് is there a way like can we connect the students to the seniors? Is there some bridge we can build to build the gap between അവരിപ്പം പല കാര്യങ്ങളും പഠിക്കുന്നുണ്ടായിരിക്കും പക്ഷെ it might not be industry level relevant, and also there's like a lot of things out there. So how could we build that gap എന്നായിരുന്നു ടീച്ചർമാർ ചോദിച്ചത്. And this session is kind of born out of that. Like the first step was we have a WhatsApp group. It's not really active at the moment because I guess like we don't I mean um, we don't really know how it can be active, but the objective of today is to be able to open that connection and maybe like let you guys see that there are very different paths available. You don't have it all figured out നമ്മൾ പഠിക്കുമ്പോ. And yeah, I mean we were also there at some stage, and even now we don't have things figured out. Yeah, so that's the objective of the session. Um, so yeah, and two things എനിക്ക് പറയാനുള്ളത്. ഒന്ന്, if you have any ശ്രീ പറയുന്നതിൽ നിന്ന് എന്തെങ്കിലും റെസണേറ്റ് ചെയ്യുവാണ് എങ്കിൽ അപ്പൊ തന്നെ ചാറ്റിൽ ഇടാൻ നോക്ക്. സോ ഐ മീൻ ലൈക്ക് വെയിറ്റ് ചെയ്യാൻ നിൽക്കണ്ട. And whenever I find a time I'll ask it. And the second one today is not about performance. It's not like a perfect conversation about like it's not the Instagram or the LinkedIn version of like in the I went out for a walk and all of these like amazing things came to me. Like real life is quite a bit of like struggles and like ups and downs. So that's what today is about. Yeah, and with that, I'd like to just like start this conversation with Sree, and a little bit introduction of Sree. Sreeയുടെ പേര് ശ്രീലക്ഷ്മി എന്നാണ്. ശ്രീ എന്ന് പറഞ്ഞിട്ട് നിങ്ങൾ ഇനി ആരെയാണ് ലിങ്ക്ഡിനിൽ തപ്പാൻ പോകുന്നതെന്ന് എനിക്കറിയില്ല. Sree's like she works currently as a product manager. She's based in the US. She was also from the same batch, 2012 batch. She studied information technology. She started off as a developer in Infosys. കുറച്ച് നാൾ അവിടെ വർക്ക് ചെയ്തു and then decided to pivot to being a product manager. Uh, yeah, that's the basics. She was also the chair of Inceptra, which was like a tech fest in our college in 2011, I think.
2011, 2012. Yeah, yeah.
2012 pass out ആയല്ലോ, so I don't know if
Yeah, I think
2012 was
2011
possible.
maybe. Yeah. Third year ആണല്ലോ എല്ലാം ചെയ്തത്. അത് കഴിയുമ്പോഴത്തേക്കും പിന്നെ റിട്ടയർമെന്റിലോട്ടാവും 40.
Yeah. Yeah, and yeah, cool. So, കുറേ പേര്, so students are right now at at a stage. I mean, so I'd expect S6 and S8 people to be the most, I mean, like third year, fourth years ആയിരിക്കും ഈ particular initiative-ന് interest ഉള്ള ആൾക്കാര്. And Infosys probably coming on campus, so they would have an opportunity to interview. So maybe let's start there. Like, like, what is your journey with Infosys like? Like, yeah, how did you find that journey? Like, how did you start? What was it like? And bear in mind, like, students they don't have any idea of working at all. So yeah, I'm pretty sure they're curious as to what you did then, yeah, and how it was.
Um, I got into Infosys because I think that was the first job I got.
Mm-hmm.
Campus recruitment, third year. I think it was also third year. Um,
Mm-hmm.
then we interviewed, I got it. Also, my brother worked in Infosys. So, and he had good things to tell about Infosys for, especially around the Mysore experience, right? Like they first send you to Mysore campus for the first 6 months. എന്നിട്ട് അവര് നമ്മളെ കുറെ പഠിപ്പിക്കും. Basically, നമ്മൾ ഈ 4 വർഷം പഠിച്ചതെല്ലാം അവർ ഒരു 6 മാസത്തില് they will condense the entire thing. And they do a really good job, honestly. But like I feel like ആ മൈസൂർ എക്സ്പീരിയൻസിന് ഭയങ്കര വെയിറ്റേജ് ഉണ്ടായിരുന്നു. അപ്പൊ I was like, okay, I'll go do that. And I think Infosys was the only job I got when I was in college. I interviewed for like a few others, but I didn't convert any of them. Then I think there were like a few folks who were going into Kochi, and then the organization debated to kind of find roles.
ThoughtWorks.
ThoughtWorks, yeah. Was that the company or was that the consulting firm?
Recruitment
I can't
drive.
remember. Oh, was it?
I
Okay.
mean, yeah, it's a consulting firm. They do both development, പക്ഷെ കൊച്ചിയില് recruitment drive ആയിരുന്നു.
Yeah. I think so. They would do all this, right? Like people who are really motivated would go find roles outside of the campus recruitment. And I was like, എനിക്ക് എന്തായാലും MBA ചെയ്യണം എന്ന് ആഗ്രഹം ഉണ്ടായിരുന്നു, അല്ലെങ്കിൽ മാസ്റ്റേഴ്സ് ചെയ്യണം എന്ന് ആദ്യമേ ആഗ്രഹം ഉണ്ടായിരുന്നു. Honestly, I was just following what my brother had done. ഇതൊക്കെ ശരിക്കും എനിക്ക് വേണ്ട കാര്യങ്ങളാണോ എന്ന് ഇപ്പൊ ചോദിച്ചു ഞാൻ അല്ലാന്ന് പറയും. പക്ഷെ അതാണ് എനിക്ക് വേണ്ടതെന്ന് ഞാൻ എന്നെ ഒന്ന് വിശ്വസിപ്പിച്ചിരുന്നു. Like because it was just I had a path. I could see a path that somebody had walked through and like it worked for them. And why wouldn't it work for me? അപ്പം അങ്ങനെ so I went to Infosys. I was a UI developer for the first 2 years. Then I was like an e-commerce developer, more like the API and the infrastructure side. It was fun. It was fun in terms of one, I think you join with like a group of people who like went to college at the same time, went to Mysore at the same time, now like are going to really explore like what corporate life is like together. So our aspect, like it was fun and you could like always, solve problems at work together, sitting at the same desk because everybody is equally motivated. അങ്ങനെയൊക്കെ കുറെ positives ഉണ്ടായിരുന്നു. Um, and UI ഡിസൈനെ കുറിച്ചും ഡെവലപ്മെന്റിനെ കുറിച്ചൊക്കെ ഒത്തിരി പഠിക്കാൻ പറ്റിയ ആ സമയത്ത്. നമ്മൾ തിയറി പഠിക്കുന്ന പോലല്ല, ചെയ്ത് വരുമ്പോഴത്തേക്ക് ഒന്നും വർക്കാവില്ല. Like ഇതൊക്കെ ഞാൻ പഠിച്ച കാര്യങ്ങളാണല്ലോ, ഞാൻ അതുപോലെ കോപ്പി പേസ്റ്റ് ചെയ്ത് വർക്ക് ഉണ്ടാവും. When things would have changed now, right? I think you have
Yeah.
all the AI agents and like things that could help you code a lot more faster.
Yeah.
I'm talking about the time where like I would start writing the header of the 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 app I want to develop, and I go Stack Overflow, which was my best friend. Um, so I think it was fun. Then I felt it was um, limiting for how expressive I wanted to be. എനിക്ക് കസ്റ്റമേഴ്സിനോട് സംസാരിക്കുന്നതും ഡിസൈനിൽ കൂടുതൽ ഇൻവോൾവ്മെന്റ് ഉള്ളതും കുറേം കൂടി decision making power വേണം എന്ന് എനിക്ക് തോന്നി. And I felt like the engineer role or the developer role that I was in wasn't having that much of a freedom to be creative or be in a decision making position. Then അതിനു വേണ്ടി എന്ത് ചെയ്യും എന്ന് ആലോചിച്ചപ്പോഴത്തേക്ക് obviously I wanted to do MBA. This would be the time. Then പിന്നെ 2 വർഷം I really tried hard to get an MBA. I got MBA admissions in India, but they weren't like IIMs. And I wanted IIMs because that's what, again, proven path. It's like apparently successful, right? Like, എന്നിട്ട് അത് വിചാരിച്ചത്ര സ്കോർ വരാതായപ്പം one of my friends was like trying for masters in the States. Anupama, if you remember Anupama. Yeah, so then and she was my roommate too. She was a brilliant student though. She would like study for 2 months and would like, crack GMAT and GRE, and I'd be like, what? Give me 2 years to think about it. But anyway, so I think again there was some predecessor, and I think it was a good choice to come here for a master's. And I came here for a master's with the goal of converting to like a little bit more of a business and a tech role where I would get more decision making power and creativity a little bit. I think it was a little bit like, okay, when I went to a role, it didn't work. Then I pivoted. And I reached where I am, I think. And I'm gonna
Yeah.
pivot again.
So, yeah, exactly. And if you think like back to the role that you started in, which was like a developer role, and you did front end development, right? Um, like what about the role did you think, like I mean, you've mentioned it at a high level. What about the role did you not really like, did you think was lacking? And how did you
Mm-hmm.
like come to that realization?
Yeah. Um,
So you did front
I
end
have this
development.
personality trait. Huh?
Hmm. So you did front end development and e-commerce development.
E-commerce, yeah.
Yeah.
E-commerce platform development.
Mm.
Um, I think the part of it that that didn't work for me was uh, that they would just tell you what to do.
Mm-hmm.
And like, I don't like people telling me what to do. Right? Like, so, um, നമ്മുടെ
And
path ഭയങ്കര
when you say telling you what to do, like maybe like I guess I'm trying to also get a flavor of what was the work kind of work you did. Um, like say as a front end developer, you came in and I know like depending upon your seniority level, it's going to be different. So say like what was your work? What did your work look like?
um, first set of projects which I worked on the first 1 to 2 years were like apps or projects that just didn't exist. ഒരു ഓസ്ട്രേലിയൻ ക്ലയന്റ് ആയിരുന്നു, അവർക്ക് സെയിൽസ് മാനേജ്മെന്റ് ടൂൾ വേണമായിരുന്നു, അതിന്റെ UI ആയിരുന്നു. And that sales management tool itself didn't exist. So that's why like I had to start with the header altogether, right?
Yeah.
But I think when you join as a developer, depending on the project you get mapped to, sometimes you'll be joining a product team or like a project team that's been like running for many years. Um,
Yeah.
then you get to work more on like bug fixes or like enhancements, and versus like a new 0 to 1 project would give you the opportunity to build something that just doesn't exist.
Yeah.
Both has its pros and cons, right? The first 2 years of my work was definitely the latter. Projects that didn't exist, and we had to like, we were like 4 of us all graduated at the same time, went to Mysore at the same time, and we all joined the same team at the same time. They're like stories of us like, trying to go for movies at 5 and like would hide behind the pillar and run and all that. But those are good times. So, പക്ഷേ പറഞ്ഞു വന്ന പോയിന്റ് വർക്കിൽ മെയിൻലി UI ഇന്റർഫേസ് ഡെവലപ്പ് ചെയ്യുക എന്നുള്ളതായിരുന്നു. ആൻഡ് യൂഷ്വലി ഒരു ടെക് ആർക്കിടെക്റ്റോ അല്ലെങ്കിൽ ഒരു project lead or ആരെങ്കിലും കാണും when you're like just joining a job, right? Because you're kind of fairly new to the role. You could use some help in terms of how you would develop a product for like a company as big as Infosys and also for the client who could be potentially big, right? So the tech architect ആയിരിക്കും correct ആയിട്ട് പറഞ്ഞു തരുന്നത് എന്ത് ടൈപ്പ് UI ലാംഗ്വേജ് ഉപയോഗിക്കണം, എന്ത് ടൈപ്പ് UX ഉപയോഗിക്കണം, എന്ത് ടൈപ്പ് ആർക്കിടെക്ചർ ആയിരിക്കും നമ്മൾ ഫോളോ ചെയ്യുന്നത്. സോ that's kind of what it is. Like you can think of it like ഒരു ഹൗസിന് ഒരു ആർക്കിടെക്ട് ഉണ്ട്. Say if you're building a new house, usually you hire an architect and they are the tech architect, right? And then you kind of have these contractors in between who will tell you basically what colors to put and where the windows would go, where the doors would go. The door should be French door or like something else. Like all those details are like given to you. Your job is to just go get it done,
Yeah. So
right?
you're like
So
the
that's kind of where,
bricklayer. You're like the mason who like does the job of like
yeah,
building the
yeah.
bricks, given
Or
a
the ones who
blueprint.
paint,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
right.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Um, I don't know if that doesn't excite you, then this would be like, oh my God, I'm not doing this. But like the point being, like you really like build the basic foundation of things, and that's kind of where it starts and ends. And then there are many layers above you, usually like at least like 2 to 3 layers above you,
Yeah.
who kind of absorb a lot of the creativity aspect in deciding what is best for the product. And I always like the idea of like talking to the customers and interfacing with them directly. കസ്റ്റമേഴ്സ് നമ്മളോട് പലതും പറയും ഇല്ലേ, എനിക്ക് റോക്കറ്റ് വേണം. എന്തിനാ റോക്കറ്റ്? ആ റോക്കറ്റ് എനിക്ക് ഇവിടുന്ന് അമേരിക്കൻ ഇന്ത്യയിൽ പെട്ടെന്ന് എത്താൻ. Like you probably don't need a rocket. Like when you talk like many
Flight
levels
പോരെ
down,
ഇതിന്
like
അതെ.
yeah, yeah, there's right.
Make my trip
Like
exist.
or like cruise. I don't know. There's so many options, right? The
Yeah.
point being, ഒരു കസ്റ്റമറിനോട് സംസാരിച്ച് അവരുടെ റിക്വയർമെന്റ് യഥാർത്ഥത്തിൽ കൺവേർട്ട് ചെയ്തൊരു product solution create was like a lot more interesting to me than just building pieces of it and just sticking to your zone too, right? Say like you're given a room to build, you cannot just go to the other room and start building it. Like in most cases, you could try to be, but in the first couple of years, I felt it was a little restrictive for me. But I would always say it added a lot of value to every other role that I took after that. And to my masters and to even like a single conversation even with my engineering lead or something these days it just helped me a lot because I can speak the language because
Yeah.
I've been there, I've done it. And when they say that something is not working and why it's not working, I know what they're saying. Like that natural empathy towards my engineering or the technical side of the house is very important when you move to like a business role or like a product role. So
Yeah.
I'm very thankful for the few years of the experience I've got, but
So
also
I'm
it
going
was
to
like
interrupt
not
you
the best
there
for me.
and ask, so what is your role today? Like, so you started out as a technical developer, building the things that we actually see, like the components of the tools and like the software that we see and use today. അതിന്റെ പല tools, അതിന്റെ പല components ആയിരിക്കും what you started out building. And like what led you to this particular role was that you wanted to be on the interfacing side to say like to find out what actually are the like I mean customer requirements. um yeah, like a want for creating something, um or like deciding for yourself what you wanted to build. And from there you decided to move to, actually we didn't really even talk about your entire journey, so you decided to like move while doing a master's. Maybe let's go into like your journey after your master's also a little bit.
Um,
So what, like even after doing an MBA, uh product management is not like there's no set path, right? Like there are many things that you could change. How did you decide, or yeah, how did you figure out that this is what you want to do? How did you chance upon product management?
um, so I did my master's in science in management information system, which is a combination of business and tech, with the goal of like getting into a role. Then I didn't know I wanted to be a product manager when I was doing my master's. What I wanted was like the different aspects. Like, I want like some more variety in my day to day. I wanted like some creative, skills to be tested, and then decision making, and then customer interfacing. അങ്ങനെയൊക്കെ കുറെ pillar. Um, and then I got hired into Goldman Sachs. And I did like something that is not related to product management, is not somewhat related to development, maybe, but it was like a financial quant role. It was my job was to really review the market risk based on like market lending changes on down, and then report it to different financial organizations. How I got that role is because I went to one of the conferences when I was in the business school. അതിനകത്ത് I met like an MD. And like ഇവിടെ US, it's like a very common thing that you network and then you get an interview based on how you networked, or if somebody really felt like you were a good fit, then you get a call into their team, right? So I ended up meeting like an MD from
MT എന്ന്
Goldman,
വെച്ചാൽ
and then
മാനേജ്മെന്റ് ട്രെയിനി.
no. Oh, yeah, that would have been nice, actually. That would have been much easier. No, he was a managing director. So
Director,
he was like
MD.
pretty
Okay.
senior. Yeah, MD, yeah. So then ended up having a really good conversation with him. And then he hired me. He not hired me, he actually put me into the interview loop when there were like 10 interviews. But then eventually all that went well and the team was a good fit and I joined that. And I like hated it. It was again a pivot, like I kind of didn't know where I was going, but it was really good money. It was Goldman Sachs, and it seemed like something that would be worth giving a try and see if it fails. Then I would pivot. That was my idea. So I went into that. It wasn't really my gig. Then I moved to product management within Goldman to a different team, and I was a product manager for the personal finance product of Goldman.
അതെങ്ങനെ like at some stage you decided that you figured out that you tried something and you felt that that wasn't for you, but how did you find out that okay ഇങ്ങനെ product management ഉണ്ട് ഇതായിരിക്കാം എനിക്ക് ഇൻട്രസ്റ്റ് ഉള്ളതെന്ന് എങ്ങനെ like how did you come to that?
So I have this interest in general to just sort of constantly look if I'm going in the right direction. So personally, when I feel like okay, this is like not working, then I right away start to look at okay, what is not working? I try to analyze it. I write it down like what's not working, what do I want, what's the gap, and how do I fix it. So first year Goldman job തുടങ്ങിയപ്പോൾ തന്നെ മനസ്സിലായി ഇതല്ല എൻ്റെ long term excuse me long term direction. Then I started talking to um, colleagues of mine and like or friends or like people whom I would otherwise just meet at a conference or like at a social gathering, and then I would ask them what they do for a living. And like then product management sort of came out as the one that I really liked. I also like strategy consulting quite a bit for like
And
any of the
എന്താണ്
consulting firms.
actually can I like step back and maybe like for clarify what actually is product management and the
Yeah,
I think it'll be helpful for this group.
yeah, okay, I'll get there in a bit. So
Yeah.
I was just saying, so then I was networking with people and like was trying to understand where and like a profession are out there, right? Uh, Lately, I think I probably would just go to ChatGPT and see, hey, these are my interests, this is what I do. I think these are
Yeah.
my best skills, and how do I convert them? Probably that would just give me the options. But talking with people who also graduated from my B school and were in different organizations, seeing their LinkedIn posts in terms of, hey, I launched this thing,
Yeah.
it's been getting a lot of customer adoption. It's been awesome. And I go, what do you do? I go into their profile, right? I did like a little bit digging to really see what is the name of that role that I like.
Yeah.
And then I reached product management, right?
Yeah,
Strategy
that's
consulting, as I said, like was also something I liked and wanted to get into, but involved a lot of traveling. I was okay with traveling, but then my life priorities were at a different place at that point. So I decided like that wouldn't be the best fit. So instead I could do product management. Now, onto what is product management. So product management, pala definitions on the AI because like with AI, like things are like evolving and
yeah.
changing, right? But primarily, you are the person who decides like what a product should really deliver to the market. What's the problem? What's that customer problem that you want to solve, and what and how you should build it. And that involves you first convincing your leadership or your business that this is the right problem to go invest in,
Yeah.
getting the funding for it, and you are really the orchestrator of like building a product or like a set of features.
Mm,
An example could be, um, I'll just talk about something I recently developed maybe. Um, so I lead the billing experience for Microsoft 365 uh,
mhm,
consumption offerings. So Microsoft
mm,
365 ഒരുപാട് products ഉണ്ടല്ലോ, like say
mm,
Word,
yep,
Excel, PowerPoint, SharePoint, OneDrive.
mm,
അതിനകത്തില് എല്ലാ പ്രോഡക്ട്സും കൂടുതൽ ലൈസൻസ് ബേസ്ഡ് ആണ്. അതിൽ ഒരു സെറ്റ് പ്രോഡക്ട്സ് കൺസംഷൻ ബേസ്ഡ് ആണ്. സോ യു ഓൺലി പേ ഇഫ് യു യൂസ് ഇറ്റ്.
yep.
അപ്പം ആ ഒരു കൺസംഷൻ ബേസ്ഡ് പ്രോഡക്ട്സിന്റെ ബില്ലിംഗ്
Like ChatGPT,
എക്സ്പീരിയൻസ്.
Copilot, Copilot is something that
Exactly.
you
Yes.
pay as
So it,
you use.
yes, it's basic. Yeah. So
Yeah.
it's one of the things I actually worked on.
Mm,
So like we basically design. I my team basically design and develop how that would look like, how much each product should be priced at. Um,
mm,
and if we had to go build this product, like what is going to be the revenue or the business impact we are going to make. And we go talk to the customers, come back and figure out how to build it and how to develop it. Um, and then we go prioritize and work with the engineers to get it done. And we launch it. And then we
yeah.
tell the world that we have launched it. So it's really an end to end of like everything that involves in a product development. And
Mm,
that brings in that previous pillar I was saying, which is like they were ITPs. Like not every day I'm doing the same thing. Like one
mm,
day I'm probably like talking to the leadership, trying to
yeah.
convince them this is the right thing to solve. The next day I'm probably like yelling at my engineering manager, you haven't done the work you're supposed to do. And the next day I'm like probably working with my design, trying to come up with what is the best way to solve this problem for the customer. So I'm
Mm,
gonna do every day is different. Kore opportunities on there to solve for different problems, and I really love it.
mm. That's pretty nice. Yeah. And what do you like? You also talked about strategy. You like
Consulting.
considered strategy consulting. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, in the what is strategy consulting? And yeah, I guess what I don't really know much about it.
What it does. Yeah.
Yeah.
So strategy or like business consulting is basically, um, say you have a company, okay,
Mm,
and you are facing a problem with your company, then you hire like a bunch of these strategy or business consultants who come into your company, sit with you, and try to solve a problem for you. And they're usually very short term.
mm,
They usually work with you like I don't know 3 months or a month or like up to 6 months or 12 months, and they're out. They basically tell you how you could solve that problem, and they're out. They don't
mhm.
sit with you and solve the problem. That
Yeah.
becomes like tech consulting or like whatever is infrastructure consulting, whatever is the problem that becomes that specific consulting. But the business
Mm,
and strategy consulting is really that I know it's the cream of the pie, right? Like you get the best part of it. You go in, talk
mhm,
with the customer, you just understand what they want, and you solve it, and you're out. You know,
mm,
so it is a little bit like quick and out, which is
yeah.
good. But at the same time, you also get to solve so many problems for so many different customers, um,
Mhm.
which is interesting.
Yeah. Yeah, actually, I used to work in consulting, um, but I don't think it was called strategy consulting. And it's like similar. Like you go into a client, they have a problem, you solve it. Um, yeah, like you said, you get a
Right from Year
variety of
Sigma,
problems.
yeah,
Yeah, yeah, I'm
yeah,
talking
remember
about
that?
music. Yeah, you
Yeah.
get a variety of problems. Yeah, and it was interesting. What I found that I didn't really enjoy about it was that it's a little far from impact. Like you see a
Hmm.
problem, but
I get that.
is that really the problem? Like you'd solve something, but I found that there was a gap in what I wanted to influence. Like, yeah, you can build a solution, but not necessarily that it'll be implemented or even used. Um, yeah. There's a
Yeah.
question which is relevant right now, which is which role would you say is the hard one? Hmm. Among the ones you handled. And I guess like hard is a it depends upon perspective. Hard would probably like hard for Sri would be something different from hard for me. But if you considered hard from your perspective, which role would you say is the hard one?
are the ones that I worked on, or like out of all these roles that we talked about?
Um,
Um,
yeah, let's say all of these roles, the ones that you worked on, because you would be able to attest to that, right?
yeah. Um, I mean, personally, എല്ലാ റോളും നമുക്ക് എത്ര നന്നായിട്ട് റോൾ ചെയ്യാൻ പറ്റുന്നുള്ളത് നമ്മുടെ സ്കിൽ സെറ്റിന്റെയും ഇൻട്രസ്റ്റിന്റെയും
Yeah,
റിസൾട്ടാണ്.
exactly. Yeah.
എൻ്റെ ഫൈനാൻഷ്യൽ ക്വാൻ റോൾ ആക്ച്വലി ഒരുപാട് അഡ്വാൻറ്റേജസ് ഉണ്ടായിരുന്നു. യു ക്യാൻ ഗോ അപ്പ് ലെവൽസ് വെരി ക്വിക്ലി. ഇറ്റ് വാസ് മോർ മണി.
Mm-hmm.
It was more power. It was more status, you know. Um,
Yeah.
and at the same time, interest ഉണ്ട് ആ ഒരു ഫീൽഡിൽ എന്നുണ്ടെങ്കിൽ you have to basically churn numbers like day in and day out. Day starts with like Excel sheets that has a million rows and
Mm-hmm.
like 20 other tabs. If you like looking at numbers, if you're really good at Excel, um, and then doing math on Excel and converting that one number into a story, if
Mm-hmm.
that's a skill that you have,
Mm-hmm.
right? It's that something that you feel like, oh, this is really exciting. Like you just get a number, like it's like a negative number, then it's like a negative story versus it's a positive number, it's a positive story, say for the company. അങ്ങനെ അതിനകത്ത്
Mm-hmm.
ഒരുപാട് മീനിങ് ഉണ്ട്. ഇറ്റ്സ് എ സിമ്പിൾ നമ്പർ. അത് ഇൻട്രസ്റ്റ് ചെയ്യുന്നുണ്ടെന്നുണ്ടെങ്കിൽ ഐ തിങ്ക് that would have been the right role to stay in. That was not my interest. So for me, that
Mm-hmm.
was a tougher one. That job
Mm-hmm.
was a tougher one because
Yeah.
it also demanded long work hours. I used to work like 16 to 18 hours a day. I'm not proud of it. പക്ഷേ I felt that was the right thing to do. പിന്നെ നമുക്ക് പലപ്പോഴും ഒരു മൈൻഡ് സെറ്റ് ഉണ്ടല്ലോ, കഷ്ടപ്പെട്ടാലേ നല്ല രീതിയിൽ പൈസ ഉണ്ടാക്കാൻ പറ്റൂ, നല്ല രീതിയിൽ
Mm-hmm.
സ്റ്റേറ്റസ് വേണമെന്നുണ്ടെങ്കിൽ കഷ്ടപ്പെടണം. ഐ ഗ്രൂ അപ്പ് വിത്ത് ദാറ്റ് ഇൻ മൈ ഫാമിലി ടു. ഹാർഡ് വർക്കിൽ
Yeah.
ഭയങ്കരമായിട്ട് എംഫസിസ് ഉള്ളൊരു കൾച്ചറാണ് ഞാൻ വളർന്നു വന്നത്. സോ ഐ വാസ് ലൈക്ക് കൂടുതൽ കഷ്ടപ്പെടുക, കൂടുതൽ വർക്ക് ആസ് അല്പം നല്ലതായിരിക്കും. And it
Mm-hmm.
took me like a few months to really see like this is not really helping me. Yes, it's giving me the promotion, but that's not who I am.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, and that's not who I want to be. Um,
Yep.
I would rather love a life where I'm working, say, 8 to 10 hours max a day.
Mm-hmm.
Would really prefer to be less than 8 hours, which I mostly have with Microsoft. I think it's a great employer.
Mm-hmm.
And if I can go to the gym, take my dog out for a walk, and probably hit a trail and cook a good meal, like I really care about my emotional and physical well-being as much as I care about my career at this point.
Mm-hmm.
Our balance, when I felt like that is the path I want to be, so I made a switch to like something that was giving me more of that balance.
Mm-hmm.
So, as you said, like what is hard and preferable for me could be different for
Different.
like someone else.
Yeah.
And like the thing is, like you cannot optimize it early on.
Yeah.
Like I have tried my best. Like I am also like as I was saying, like I would like to go back and reevaluate things. It comes from that core need of like wanting to control things, So I want to control all the adversities that could happen, all the failures that could happen, right? So I
Yeah.
just sit and try to plan it, but it's hard to optimize. You go into something sometimes, you think it's not for you, you move out.
Yeah.
I also have like friends who went into operational management thinking they would hate it and they love it. They're still in the same role for like 5 to 8 years, right?
Mm-hmm.
So sometimes like you can try to really optimize it, but it's not possible. And
Yeah.
with
100%.
seasons, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Totally agree. Yes. Um, yeah. So, yeah, and then the top hot question is, how do you see AI changing the product management space?
It's a tough, hard question from you or from someone in the audience. AI changing
From me.
my job. Okay, I'm surprised. AI changing my job or like everyone's role?
Um, yeah, let's talk
How
about
much do you want to
everybody's
spread the
role.
panic?
What do you think
Everybody's.
are the skills like you need today that's different from different because AI is in the scene?
Yeah. Mm, I have a very strong perspective on it. I think roles will change. None of these definitions I said are going to stay the same
Yeah.
in a matter of 1 to 2 years.
Mm,
Um, it has already changed. Um, And like there's no way to get into any of these roles that I talk to without knowing AI, or like without um, learning or be willing to learn about AI, you know. Um, so it doesn't have to be understanding എങ്ങനെയാണ് NLPs work ചെയ്യുന്നത്, or uh, like how all these agents work and the tech architects. You don't have to be that deep, but the ability to use different AI products in the space that you first want to get to is going to be very key. An example is um, if you're looking for an engineer role, or if you're looking for a developer role, tools like Cloud Code, um, tools like that could potentially be used for prototyping, like V0 or Bolt. And like a products are out there. Um, a quick ChatGPT search would give you all these results and link to the products, and a lot of them have like free credits, and like you don't need to really pay to use it first. Playing with these tools and really familiarizing yourself would really tell you the story in terms of how much it's going to change how these roles would have traditionally worked. For example, uh, our story that I was telling about how I started off with writing the header, nobody writes header anymore, right?
Yeah.
Like you basically just tell Claude Code and it probably produces like a really wonderful workable version that you can ask it to edit. From scratch code and then concept boy. Um, in Microsoft, nobody writes from scratch code anymore. We also have cases of like designers writing UI code, and they are like sort of pushing it to the GitHub via Copilot, and like kind of running into the deployment story. The idea is that now everybody can do a little bit of someone else's job.
Yeah.
It is about how do you do your job better and more efficient and faster. That's really going to be the differentiator to sort of stay in the game and go up levels, is how I see it. So I said I have a strong POV around it. പക്ഷെ എൻ്റെ റോളിൽ എൻ്റെ ടീമിലും ഞങ്ങൾ AI ഒത്തിരി ഉപയോഗിക്കുന്നുണ്ട്. We are encouraged rather forced to do it. And the leader, like, the product leader is like very specific about us trying to learn about any new tools that are available for us to experiment with. So we are like strongly say encouraged to use Cloud Code on a regular basis and play with it. So I think going into say interviews or like, or when you're preparing yourself for all this, it's good to have played with it. Take any
Yeah.
use case that you want to solve for. Say you want to feed stray dogs. You want to build an app that would basically find free food around and like want to feed it to the stray dogs. Can you build it with Cloud Code? I bet you can, right? അങ്ങനെ എന്തെങ്കിലും ഒരു ചെറിയ പ്രോബ്ലം എടുത്തിട്ട് ചെറിയോ വലിയ പ്രോബ്ലം എടുത്തിട്ട് അത് അതിന്റെ ഒരു പീസ് സോൾവ് ചെയ്യാൻ practically experiment ചെയ്ത് learning these tools, I think is going to be a big game changer. Um, Previously, you would get like, I don't know, 2 months to really figure out your product strategy. എങ്ങനെയാണ് ഈ പ്രോഡക്റ്റ് ബിൽഡ് ചെയ്യേണ്ടത്, എന്തൊക്കെ പീസസ് ആണ് അതിനകത്ത് വേണ്ടത്, ഏതൊക്കെ എഞ്ചിനീയറിംഗ് ടീംസ് ആയിരിക്കും ഇൻവോൾവ് ആവുന്നത്, എത്ര month we need to give to designers. ഇതിനൊക്കെ ഒരു 2 months time ഉണ്ടെങ്കിൽ now we get like 2 weeks or 3 weeks, right? It's like because you're expected to have a much better throughput than before. അപ്പൊ ഇങ്ങനെയുള്ള ഇതിനൊക്കെ I feel like it's definitely changing quite a lot, but I want to believe like it's hard to replace humans that way. Um, it might come, but then we'll figure out something else then.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I agree with your perspective. I think like ഇതൊക്കെ ഒരു ടൂൾസ് ആയിട്ടാണ് കൂട്ടുന്നത്. ലൈക്ക് എന്താ ഗൂഗിൾ ആദ്യമായിട്ട് വന്നപ്പോഴത്തേക്ക് ഒരു സെർച്ച് ഉണ്ടായിരുന്നു, മേക്ക് ദം യുവർ ഫ്രണ്ട്സ് ആൻഡ് സീ ഹൗ ടു യൂസ് ദോസ് ടൂൾസ്, ഇൻകോപ്പറേറ്റ് ദോസ് ഇൻ യുവർ വർക്ക് ഫ്ലോ. And if you're studying right now, like incorporate them in your study, do small experiments with it. I believe that knowing basics is still pretty important because you need to be able to verify and validate stuff because sometimes it produces wrong results or sometimes it produces right looking results, but when you look at the detail ചിലപ്പം അതിൽ എന്തെങ്കിലും things that shouldn't have been there കാണാൻ chance ഉണ്ട് because it's just trained on a lot of information and not all of that information needs to meet the specifics of the use case that you're working on. So I guess like for the students, what my 2 cents about it would be: a, play with it; b, see how you can use it as a tool, um, and c, know the basics. Actually, know the basics would be number one in my view. Um, yeah.
But
Um,
I'm curious to hear, like I know you work in data science.
yeah.
Has AI transformed anything in how you as a data scientist would have worked a year back from now?
So as a data scientist, so something that has really changed, like what you've said previously, is ഒരേ ആള് like different roles can actually do a little bit of the other person's roles. So me as a data scientist, normally what do? I get a problem. I look at the data and try to solve that problem with the use of data. I communicate that to the people who take the decisions. Um, and it could be either a once-off ask, or it could be like an app that gives you information uh, like perpetually, like ഒരു വെബ്സൈറ്റ്, ഒരു ആപ്പ്, ഇന്റേണൽ ആയിട്ടുള്ള ഒരു ആപ്പ് that gives you all the information. And generally, as a data scientist in my previous roles, what has happened is ഞാനൊരു ഒരു പ്രോബ്ലം ഉണ്ട്, അതിനൊരു സൊല്യൂഷന് വേണ്ടി ഞാനൊരു അൽഗോരിതം ഉണ്ടാക്കി. ആ അൽഗോരിതം ലൈക്ക് ലൈവ് ആക്കാൻ അല്ലെങ്കിൽ പ്രോഡിൽ ഇടാൻ വേണ്ടിയിട്ട് ജനറലി വേറൊരു ടീം കാണും, ഒരു ഇൻഫ്രാ ടീമോ ഒരു ടെക് ടീം എന്തെങ്കിലും കാണും, whose core skills are not data science. Their core skills are how to productionalize apps that have, like, I mean, solutions that have been built by data people so that the app
Hmm.
itself is stable.
Hmm.
Now, with the help of AI, we are able to come in early into that. We are able to, because like coding is not really my, I mean, software development is not my core skill set, but I am able to quickly build up an app without too much, like, I mean, I guess my background also helps that I'm from IT. So with those basics, I'm quickly able to spin up an app, have all the right stuff in, and have that to be deployed more quickly. So I guess that's the big change that I see. Um, Pieces that I see that it really struggles with at the moment is you can't really have a business user put it in because they don't really know how to scope a problem. Like ഈ ശ്രീ പറഞ്ഞ പോലെ എനിക്ക് റോക്കറ്റ് ബിൽഡ് ചെയ്യണം ഫ്രം ഇന്ത്യ ടു US ലെവലിലുള്ള റിക്വയർമെന്റ്സ് ആണ് പറയുന്നതെങ്കിൽ അത് റോക്കറ്റ് ബിൽഡ് ചെയ്യും, പക്ഷെ ദാറ്റ് മൈറ്റ് നോട്ട് ബി ദ പ്രോബ്ലം ദാറ്റ് നീഡ്സ് ടു ബി സോൾവ്ഡ്.
Hmm.
um and I think, like, right now, um I think that's a big challenge for AI. At some stage, probably even that won't be, because it'll keep maybe asking clarifying questions. um yeah, so at some stage it will change, but at the moment it isn't, and that's where I see like the um current skill set that we have is very useful. I
Yeah.
don't see AI automating my job yet. പക്ഷെ ഒരു 5 വർഷത്തില് like yeah, change എന്താണ് 5 വർഷത്തിൽ നടക്കാൻ പോകുന്നതെന്ന് ആർക്കും പറയാൻ പറ്റില്ല. Yeah, so things will change.
Yeah. Human expertise and like human concerns, I think they are like hard to replace with AI. I feel
Expertise in
uh,
human what?
like human expertise that are like
Mm-hmm.
built over a period of years. It's not probably generic for every role, but like say for
Mm,
like a role like yours, right? Or even for like a role like mine to some extent, because I've been a PM for SharePoint for like now 4 years.
mm,
So I have a lot of contextual information
mm.
that AI doesn't have access to yet.
Yeah,
Like I would have
yeah,
talked to people that have left the firm 2 years back,
yeah.
and the wealth of knowledge I got from them is not out there digitally for
Mm-hmm.
AI to access, right? Like അങ്ങനെയൊക്കെ കുറെ കാര്യങ്ങൾ വരുമ്പോൾ I think there is a
Mm.
differentiator for human expertise.
Yeah, I
Um,
agree
then it's going
100%.
to be, I think, when you're just joining a job, it's going to be about how fast you can deliver things and make an impact. When you're given a thing, how well
Mm,
you communicate and how quickly you
yeah,
try to deliver something and
true.
get ahead probably would be what I would expect if I have a new joiner in my team. That's what I want them to do. Like,
Hmm.
how do you use AI? Irrespective of
Yeah.
how you use AI, I know how fast are you able to get things done.
Hmm. Yeah, that actually segues to a really good question from the students itself. Um, what skills would you recommend the students focus on?
Depending on your interest, really.
Mm,
Um, I'm a firm believer after I hit my 30s that you should always listen to your inner voice, right? Like, എന്താണ് നമുക്ക് യഥാർത്ഥത്തിൽ ഇൻട്രസ്റ്റ് ഉള്ളത് ആ ഒരു ഡിറക്ഷനിൽ പോകുന്ന ഐ തിങ്ക് ഈസ് ഇൻ is always going to be in your favor long term. Uh, but say for example, I've heard people like who are in third or fourth year, they feel like electrical engineering like interests them more versus like computer engineering. It's not too late, it's probably worth
Yeah.
going that direction. Or 10 skills that you could go study like a choice, I probably won't have the right answer for it because I feel like everybody is different. Your
Mhm.
best friend could be so different than you in terms of their skill set and their interest and what is really what really drives their passion for them.
Yeah.
Um, so based on where you want to be, I think you should build your skills. Um,
But what about at a time when you're 20 and you don't really know what you're interested in? Because that's where we are at. I mean, I don't know. Like, I mean, when I'm thinking about myself 15 years ago, um, I didn't really know what I wanted. Um, so there's no uh, like if you told me to what's in you're interested in, I'm like, ചുമ്മാ ക്ലാസ്സും കട്ട് ചെയ്ത് നടക്കാനാണ് താല്പര്യം. I just want to have fun. So at that point, it's hard to say what am I actually interested in. But what are some good skills? Um, what what I would suggest to myself if I were then is try things. Maybe you don't know what you like, but give many things a go. We live in an age where there's a lot of information available. So you have agency. Use your agency to try many things and realize that, huh, this I didn't really like so much, and this is what actually like makes me go alive. That's what I would recommend to people.
yeah.
Um,
I think if you're like absolutely like it is okay to be clueless if you're clueless, right? Like, it's
yeah,
completely okay. I was clueless too. Like I'm probably still clueless about many things in my life, right?
yeah.
It's always
Mhm,
going to be the game. Then, um, yeah, read about something, right? Like say for example, when you don't know what are the different careers. Now you got like I don't know 4 or 5 career options here on this call. Go read about it, right? And go see what they really do. Read like a specific PM case study, for example, how they went about PMing an actual customer problem. I'm pretty sure like you'll find an article like that on Medium. Or you could even listen to podcasts about product management, for example, right?
yeah.
So you can see like how product managers talk about their work. I'm just taking example as PM as an example. So you can
Mhm,
like really try to go a little bit deeper into what each of these career looks like and what their day to day look like. And if that sparks an interest in you, I would say that's when you should like go further down and try to find out the skills you want to develop for becoming that person. Like
mhm,
uh,
yeah.
എന്ത് ഇൻട്രസ്റ്റ് ഉണ്ടോ ആ പാത്തിൽ ഡീപ്പർ ആയിട്ട് പോകുന്ന I think makes sense. I remember like Anjali too, like you were very deep, like in terms of when you were trying to learn something, you always wanted to ask like why is that? Like I remember
Yeah.
when we would do like the group study,
Mhm.
like she would always slow us down. Like we just wanted to like chug all the concepts and just get and like just spit it out on the paper and like be done with it. She'd be like, പക്ഷെ അതെന്തുകൊണ്ടായിരിക്കും അവരങ്ങനെ ചെയ്തു ഇതെന്തുകൊണ്ടായിരിക്കും ഇതെങ്ങനെയാണ് like she was always curious to kind of get many levels deep. And like does it surprise me that she became a data scientist? No, right? Like it is always like those skills in you that interest um, more spark in you, that you want to go deeper and like learn more about it. And ഇതുപോലെ ഇങ്ങനെ പല careers നോക്കിയിട്ട് അതിൽ interest ഉണ്ടെന്നുണ്ടെങ്കിൽ PM ആണെന്നുണ്ടെങ്കിൽ like definitely you need to be in a place where you can write things very well in a very easily understandable, comprehensible way.
Mm,
Complex ആയിട്ടുള്ള problems എങ്ങനെ easy ആയിട്ട് solve ചെയ്യാം എന്നുള്ളതാണ് key product skill. Another one is like when you look at a product, do you have a product sense? Um, I don't want to go too deep. I think that that's a bit too much. But the idea is that വളരെ career specific ആണ്. എവിടെയാണ് start ചെയ്യേണ്ടതെന്ന് അറിയില്ല എന്നുണ്ടെങ്കിൽ I would recommend reading through what are the career options and like going maybe 2 to 3 levels down and then building some skill set. But
yeah.
irrespective of the role or the path you take, checking out like different AI tools is always going to be a win. If you are going to be more in the development side, definitely Cloud Code. If you're more going to be in the prototyping So I check out V0, Bolt, or like even use Copilot or ChatGPT to prototype.
I'm surprised
Uh,
your Copilot plug came in so late. Adim Cloud Code. എന്നിട്ട്
Copilot, is it free though? I don't think Copilot is free to use.
um
You
well,
need a
Copilot
license,
Chat
no?
is no, you don't. You can sign up for a free account.
Really? Okay, I didn't even know. I was always thinking, I personally always use it. This is not gonna be put on LinkedIn, right? No, if my boss is on LinkedIn and all my leaders, they'll be like, oh my God.
I'll just make a clip out of this.
Then I'm like, you have to be authentic. You have to tell your truth, irrespective of, you know, so to spring to it, but yeah.
Okay, we're kind of coming up to time, and so I want to like wrap it in time. And also, Google Meet is only for 1 hour.
Mhm.
Um, what? So my last question is, what would you have to tell the students, say, who are, if you wanted to leave just one thing, with people who might be looking for jobs, in and be in the thick of it, maybe they're not able to find the role or find any role, what would be one thing that you would want to leave them with?
Ah, my opportunity to give advice, huh? So I feel you should have you should build towards, not have the the ability to kind of face rejections, right?
Mm,
Um,
yeah.
right. When you go into interviews or like job search or things that you haven't tried, you're naturally gonna face rejection.
Hmm.
ഈ ലോകത്ത് ആരുമില്ല successful ആയിട്ട് who haven't faced rejections.
Hmm.
And this could be in terms of job interviews, it could be in terms of something you really wanted and you didn't get. Um, and then praise whatever comes with it. Usually, rejection is always like something to learn, is how I look at it. Something like a pivot. Sometimes that, okay, maybe I was in the wrong direction, or maybe I had to do something more. Sometimes it's like not personal, it's on the other person too. So, but
Hmm.
the point being, like, when it comes to job search or like really finding what you want, going in with the readiness to face failure and just believing you will come out of it, I think is going to be key. ഞാൻ product manager റോളിലോട്ട് switch ചെയ്യാൻ it took me like 2 years. Current PM, when I was looking, even now, I think a lot of people want to be product managers. അപ്പം അതൊരു um, entry barrier ഭയങ്കര high ആയിരുന്നു. And I
Hmm.
wasn't able to convert.
Yeah.
For about 2 years, I kept getting rejection. I don't know, I probably would have gotten like 70 or 80 rejections until I finally converted internally to a role in Goldman.
Wow.
Uh, ഭയങ്കര ഭയങ്കര upsetting ആയിരുന്നു ആ സമയം. I used to
Hmm.
feel like, what is it that it is so special? Why can't I do it? Why am I the only one who cannot do it? When I look at other people that they are able to do, why can't I do it? Right. So, but getting over that inner, you know, negative self-talk and getting back at it again is only going to yield you good results.
Hmm.
Um,
And
and
what would you say, like, how to get, like, yeah, you're going to be rejected and it's going to sting. What helped you get through that?
uh, if I stay in rejection, then I'm rejected,
Hmm.
right? The only way not to be rejected is basically to get accepted.
Hmm.
So to move from rejected to accepted was to try again.
Super
Uh,
logical.
right? Like, no, I really mean it. I hate to be in a rejected stage. I hate to be in a defeated stage.
Hmm.
അപ്പം അതിന്ന് പുറത്തോട്ട് വരാൻ എന്തെങ്കിലും ഒരു change to the previous strategy definitely is needed,
Hmm.
right?
Yeah.
Like you tried something, you tried the same strategy, say for like 10 jobs and it didn't work. And I have to change something for the 11th. But if I'm too fearful to look into the 10 rejections, I'm not going to find that change that I want to make for my 11th, right? I think there was always this need to like move from rejected to accepted
Hmm.
because my ego was too high or whatever that is. But I think that was a constant push that I just go back at it, get rejected again. I was like, oops, that didn't work. I would be
Hmm.
upset for 2 days and then back at it again.
Hmm.
ഒരു perseverance വിടരുത്. You all are like very young. It's a great age. It's a great era to really get into anything that you want.
Yeah.
Um, അല്ലേ ഒരുപാട് പോസിബിലിറ്റീസ് ഉണ്ട്. You have people like us. We have a lot of our friends too who are working for different companies and things. So use all these channels and medium that you get ahead. Use everything to your advantage, even rejections.
Yeah. Yeah, I really like that. Like use rejections to your advantage. Okay, I'm gonna wrap this up. And അല്ലെങ്കിൽ 4 മിനിറ്റില് Google Meet kick out ചെയ്യും. But I'm really
So you gotta
grateful
use
for,
Microsoft for that. Like
huh?
they wouldn't do that. Like use that clip.
So you'd use, I could host this on Microsoft Teams and um
With the
it like
license, yeah.
with a license, yeah. So, well, see, you're not doing a great job for people who are doing like a free this for free. I'm not getting paid for this.
Sure, I don't get paid for doing free stuff, you know.
Anyway, thank you so much, Sri. Thank you for sharing your journey, and thank you also for being candid and also your time, like on a Sunday morning. And thank you all the students who joined. I'll send a feedback, like a form, so that I can gather some understanding of how this session was. Was it useful? Do you want more of this? I'd be curious to hear from you. And if you want to reach out to Sreelakshmi, she said you can email her or also reach down on LinkedIn. She also has a full-time job, so maybe she might not respond, but you can always feel free to reach out.
Yeah, definitely. And thank you, Anjali, for setting this up. I know it's no easy thing to coordinate all this, come up with all this, created a community. I hope the students get to use it. But thank you for including me.
Yeah, no, thank you so much.
Of course.
Okay, have a good day. I'll talk to you soon.
Yeah, talk to you soon.
Bye-bye. Bye.
Take care. Bye.
Bye.